warm welcome back to Afternoon Express. So in the kitchen this week, we're trying to go this whole healthy route. And today we're focusing on the show on ADHD, particularly in children and in adults. And we always thought that reducing the amount of sugar we're feeding our children is a great way to go. And so Clem is showing us a delicious recipe that we're making on the show today. You can make it too with us at home. So today's recipe's got technically less sugar than other types of sugar. So what are we making?
We're using natural sugar.
Okay.
And it's a spin on like... There we go. And it's a spin on classic chips and like tomato sauce.
Yum.
We're making chickpea fries with a Nomato sauce.
Okay.
Nomato because there's no tomato in there. We need to counteract that bitterness with sugar.
Yes.
And we're getting the natural sweetness from the beetroots.
Lovely. It sounds delicious. And I'm keen to get cooking with you because I haven't got my hands dirty in a while. All the chefs like to do their own thing, so...
I'm going to give you lots to do today.
Cool. Let's
Promise.
do it.
So we're using chickpea flour.
Okay. Never heard of that in my life.
It is amazing. It's got even if you smell it now, it's got a natural, nutty flavor to it.
It's warm.
It comes with vitamin B6, iron, potassium, magnesium, and it's 6 times higher in protein than normal flour.
You had your phone out. You were on Wikipedia, weren't you?
I'm getting all the feed into my... Yeah, no, I'm not joking. Okay, so the first thing is get your water simmering.
Okay.
Essentially, all you really need is chickpea and water to make our type of porridge, which is the base of the chip.
Okay.
Sounds strange?
Does this come in a box, by the way? I don't know. Can you buy this in any sort of store? I've never seen this in my life.
Chickpea flour is becoming more commercial now, so you can get it in normal supermarkets.
It's like a banting option for a lot of people who are not wanting the flour, or like a wheat-free.
Slightly, yeah.
I see.
Especially because it's higher in protein. But traditionally it's called China flour. And it's cheap. It's really cheap. I mean, I think you pay something like 20 bucks for 500 grams.
My word. Jeez, that's amazing.
It's crazy. So I've added some Cajun spice. Kids, a little bit of heat, they're not going to complain. It's fine. Little salt, actually quite a bit of salt, because I won't say a crazy amount, but chickpea flour needs a bit of extra flavor.
Quite bland.
So pepper, salt, Cajun spice. Just give it a mix in your bowl, and add it to your simmering water, and you start stirring.
Voila.
So what happens is this turns into a type of porridge, and you have to cook it cook some of the moisture out.
I can smell all those flavors immediately.
You can,
that sort of like curry powder.
So you cook it till it becomes a thick porridge. All that excess moisture cooks out. And you see, how's it looking? Yeah, it's looking good. So I'm gonna let that go for a bit. What happens is, once it becomes really thick, just grease the inside of any bowl, pour it in there, and put it in the fridge. And what you end up with is this guy.
Oh, something like this.
And it kind of sits, right? If you think like polenta, that's a good way. Look, it has to cook like a thick polenta. Because you know polenta.
Yes, I know polenta, see.
And then you pour it into the bowl, let it sit in the fridge for about 2 hours.
Okay. So you wanted to get it quite thin because you have to cut it into slices, I assume. So you're going to want to make sure that your bowl is not like a small little bowl that falls up to the top.
And it's also going to take longer to sit if you fill it up all the way. So keep it thin.
A nice flat dish.
So I'm going to ask you to start slicing chips of anywhere.
Okay.
Go on the long. Keep them long.
I'll go on the long.
So while you do that, I'm going to pop this to this side.
Cool. And what do you... Oh, I thought you were putting something in the pan there. No.
I'm going to soon. So pan on the heat. And we're going to cook with coconut oil today.
Yummy.
I mean, we used it earlier this week as well.
I was asking you off air what that was. I'm so glad you explained it to me because I would have described it as like some kind of shoe polish or something. When it came out, it didn't look like anything. So that's just obviously when it's not been warmed up or whatever. That's
it is. So let me get this part off the heat. Let me move everything over to the side. So coconut oil, we love it, but it's a saturated fat, so we still don't go crazy with it.
Yes. It's a healthy fat for you. It's one of those ones, I mean, they put in the same sort of bracket as avocados and olive oils and things.
And they call it the good fats.
Yeah. So just ultimately not too much, otherwise you are going to get yourself into slightly trouble.
It is. So I'm just going to use my hands. They're clean.
Go for it, yeah. So mine, so it's all cool.
Just get them into the pan, in the oil. Let them start searing off. Be careful, because what happens is they start searing and they seal on the one side, and you think it's like firm enough to handle, and they actually end up breaking. Yeah. So maybe like use your tongues and then kind of just like secure it with your other fingers, not burning.
Yes, don't burn them because the pan also doesn't feel like it's going to be charged. It's not going to completely splash back at you.
Yeah.
Cool. Can I add one more?
You can.
Is there space for... Oh,
what I also like doing is I add them like at a slight angle.
Okay.
There we go.
Give them a bit of shape.
There we go, and they actually cook in that shape.
Delicious. So that's basically the idea of you set your kind of pastry which you've made. You're now just sort of heating it up and getting it that nice crispy on the outside sort of flavor.
Keep rotating it around.
Oh.
And what you end up with is these guys on the end.
Okay, I'm not going to lie to you because it might look okay like this, but it's all about the taste. So later on, I'll make sure I have a good taste of it, and I'll tell you whether he's lying to me, whether these are actually delicious like they are like fries with your Nomato sauce. And I'm guessing we're making the Nomato next.
In part 2.
Fantastic. So if you guys want to get this recipe on the shopping list, it's on our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. It's Health Week. All those delicious, healthy recipes are available for you on that website. Also download the shopping list if you want to go to the shop soon and get all of those ingredients. Jeannie's on standby on the couch.
Express yourself.
Indeed. One thing that I did learn about sort of being medicated while you were ADD or ADHD in school is a big effect that it had on your appetite. And so I'm very excited that today on the show, we're making something that looks, that is very healthy for you, but looks a little slightly different and is very, very delicious. Because I think to encourage young kids who are on sort of Concertas and Ritalins to eat the right types of foods and to keep their diet going prevents them from losing all that weight from their lack of diet. So.
Even if they don't have ADD, it's still a great dish, just for kids in general. No,
it's true. Sam, I'm not saying your food is only for kids who have ADD. I'm saying that it looks delicious and it's healthy for you too. So, well done is what I'm saying. Okay.
Awesome.
Okay, so all that's left to make is our Nomato sauce, right?
Okay, so we've spoken about why it's called a Nomato sauce, because we're not using tomato in the sauce. And that means we don't need to add that extra sugar.
Yes.
So we're serving our chips with this amazing, I like it chunky, so I want to call it a sauce, but it's a bit of a dip. Okay.
Okay.
So
it's got something just to flavor your chickpea.
But it's absolutely delicious. So we're going to go with onions. Onions is the start of any good sauce. I mean, they add such an amazing flavor.
Totally.
Onto our roasting pan. Celery, just add the whole stalks. I'm not even going to bother. Garlic. Look at you arranging it all beautifully.
No, I like the way that you cook because, I mean, it's one of those things people always at home watch these chefs on TV doing the drizzling and the thing, and everyone's like, ugh, that's not my cup of tea.
And it's going to get blended anyway.
Yes, exactly. And also, when you chew it up and swallow it, you know what happens down there, right?
No, I don't.
It just mushes up all together, okay? That's what happens, Clem.
Okay, so carrots, again, that's just going to build on flavor.
Yes, and adds a bit of colour.
It does. Well, actually, no. Because once the beetroot gets blended up, everything becomes
overpowers
purple.
everything.
So let's get more carrot in there. And then the star of the sauce, the beetroot. Yes. I've just peeled it. You don't really have to.
Yeah. What's fascinating, I find, is you've got lots more other vegetables than you do beetroot, but it's called, like, the beetroot sauce, basically. So I find that interesting. It's just because the colorant itself is just so overpowering.
I think I was supposed to add less onion in that.
So we're just winging it. Okay, that's fine. Then I guess this goes into the oven.
It does, but a little drizzle of olive oil first.
And seasoning.
A little bit, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And it's going to go into the oven, ding, 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 ding. And then it comes out looking like...
It's one of those, like...
Done. Okay, so these
done.
are vegetables that have roasted. You can see it's got quite a lot of char in it, and that's important because that brings out that natural sugar, the flavor that's in there.
Okay.
Very important.
Good tip, actually. Thank you.
It is. But vegetables in general, like we've spoken about onions so many times that if you're not going to cook them down, you're going to have that bitterness. By cooking them down, you bring all that natural sweetness
through.
Again, that's where some of the sweetness is going to come from the onions, the celery, the carrots, and the beetroot.
Clem, you're a wise old owl, man.
I know,
you're so
man.
wise. So.
Compliments. He'll be paid after the show.
Yeah. Under the table.
I'm just going to use my hands right now. I think that's going to be the best.
So try and channel bowls into this, like the bane of everyone's existence in the kitchen. Try and pour something from one bowl into some other bowl that's smaller. I promise you, it's like children always make a mess of that.
And me.
And me, yeah.
Tip is to blend the vegetables while they're still hot. That way you get a nice smooth consistency. Yes. Cool. So we're going to add, okay, we've added salt already, so that's fine. I'm going to do a little bit of cumin.
Cumin.
Because that nice earthy flavor brings out so much other flavors in the vegetables. And some smoked paprika.
Yum. And that'll, one, add to the flavor, but two, also give it a nice smokiness, which I like.
Absolutely. And that's just some... Okay, let's see. Ooh, I nearly skipped this. Ooh. Little... this is white wine vinegar. A little bit in there.
And that's obviously because you know all tomato sauces and stuff have got a very sort of vinegary, tart flavour to them.
Balanced.
And the
Absolutely.
sweet. So this is what you're doing
So I'm going to blend. While I'm blending, will you pop the chips into the plate for me?
Sure.
Make sure you get everything down there.
There's no particular way to do this, I guess. I'm just kind of having
Have I
some
ever
fun.
given you a job to do it like Danilo? Do it just like that.
Don't ever give me a job to do styling, and that's not my forte. I'm just going to say thanks for putting this bowl so far away from me. Appreciate you, man.
I'm just going to pour the sauce back into the bowl that the vegetables came out of in the first time.
There we go. I made a little space
How's
there for you.
How's it looking?
Looking amazing. So can I put this there in the meantime?
You can, but let me just add a little bit of yogurt first.
Okay. Yogurt?
Why not?
Just to soften all the flavors there.
Absolutely, and just
Okay,
to bring everything together, yes.
While he does that, if you guys want to go to our website, afternoonexpress.co.za, you can get it on your mobile phone, on your computer, wherever you are. Or, like I said, to all of our grandmothers out there, if you are wanting to go and get this recipe, get your grandson or granddaughter to print it out for you and get the shopping list too. It's the best way to get all the recipes we make right here on the show on Afternoon Express. And this one is live right now. After the break, we're back with our experts chatting ADHD, and we'll be reading your questions. So stay right where you are. Ooh, bunny rabbit.
Express yourself.
How you doing, YouTube fam? Thank you so much for watching, sharing and commenting. We love hearing from you, so be sure to keep up to date with all things Afternoon Express by clicking the subscribe button right here.